welcome to New York Times critically acclaimed top podcast of 2022. I'm Meggie Gates, and I'm one of your hosts.
And I'm Laura Petro, and I'm one of your hosts, and I'm here to say that is a fact that Meggie just said.
Yeah, we don't lie at this podcast.
We can't. It's illegal to lie.
We take the truth extremely seriously.
Yeah.
And the truth is, today we are doing a Christmas-themed episode.
Special release in between seasons.
Very fun to get us in the mood for the holidays. And you might know this young adult book, you might not. It was turned into a Netflix show in 2020, and the book we are talking about today is Dash and Lily's Book of Dares.
Yep, that's the title. Written by Rachel Cohn and David Levithan. They also wrote Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist and So-and-so's and So-and-so's No Kiss List. Naomi and Eli's No Kiss List. That's also a movie that I have seen.
Oh, was it good?
I think it was like a straight to DVD movie. You can find a bootleg of it on YouTube pretty easily.
Nice. Well, hey, I loved Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist, so
it's such a great movie. I haven't watched the show of this book. I was really hoping it'd put me in the holiday spirit, and unfortunately did not, because it kind of didn't really have anything to do with the holidays, nor did it really lean into it at all, which was kind of a bummer.
No, so let's dissect this little hot shit show mess, because a lot, I will say a lot does happen, but does a lot happen too?
Yeah, I was telling Meggie, I was like, how does a book that has so many things happen in it still, like, be so bland?
Hey, I don't know. But the book opens, we open with one of our protagonists, Dash, at a very large bookstore in New York City, the Strand. And as he's perusing his little books, he finds a red moleskin journal in the bookstore, and he just coincidentally happens to read it. It's Christmas in New York, and Dash, he's a bit of a cynic about the holidays, okay? He's a broody boy.
He's a little Scrooge.
Yes, he loves Bukowski. I guess that's really, for literature people, that's really all you need to know about this guy. And he's also saying he prefers used books to Nintendo Wii's, which, I don't know, I don't, and I read a lot, but to each their own.
To each their own. And we find this notebook that he gets. It's a book of dares, and the first challenge is telling him to go find some books and fill in some blanks. And this leads him to a book on French pianism, another book called Fat Hoochie Prom Queen, and then another book, The Joy of Gay Sex. And this leads to his first clue that says, are you going to be playing? Saying like, hey, if you're gonna you want to play my book of dares, go for it. And there's literally a message in it that says like, if you don't want to, put the book back.
Yeah, I also do love he finds the joy of gay sex, and she's like, if you're into this stuff, that's fine, but you're not for me. Which is like, bi people exist. Anonymous person who we do know is a woman, because when Dash opens the notebook, he's like, I was attacked by the haunting aroma of a woman's signature, which. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, poet.
Yeah, we learned that there's no gays allowed, and Lily has asked whoever has finished her clues and wants to play to leave their email with the person at the front desk.
Yes, so he goes up to the person at the front desk. He's also trying to like figure out what this person looks like that is leaving him notes, and the guy does not tell him anything. So he leaves his email in the book, gives it to the front desk guy, and it's game on. Game on from there.
Wait, I thought he didn't leave his email. Instead, he left another clue because she doesn't have any way to contact him.
Oh, I think that okay. I don't know, because I wrote that the riddle ends that he's supposed to leave his email in the book and give it to the front desk guy.
Yeah, that's the end of the riddle, but he doesn't do that. He leaves another clue instead. Like, he one-ups her.
Oh, okay. Well, game on.
Because otherwise she would have known his name, and, like, this entire book, she doesn't know his name at all.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Unless
he has... Unless
he has an email that's like, I would have like
Skater Boy 829.
oh yeah, very realistic. I think in high school I had all the pretty horses at gmail.com because I just didn't know what to make my
Do you think
email.
you still have access to that?
Well, they asked for my 10-year reunion if they should send details about it to all the pretty horses at gmail.com, and I was like, nope, that's not my email anymore. You know, I
It
liked.
still could be. Maggie, I think you should try to retrieve all the pretty horses at gmail.com.
I did vote for us in something with that email, and that's
That's
hey, that's
really
my book of dare. You guys can try to figure out what it is.
so funny. Um, then we cut to our next protagonist, Lily, and it's her POV. And boy, is she the exact opposite of Dash because she loves Christmas.
She loves it. She is like, I'm sending goodwill to all boys, girls, cats, not non-binary people, because remember, Lily,
not gay people or bi people.
Lily hates the
I'm
gays.
starting my own caroling group. And we also learned that she has a brother, Langston, and he has a new boyfriend named Benny. And Langston thinks Lily needs a boyfriend. And we also find out that Langston started the Book of Dares. And Lily was very hesitant about it.
Yes, but you know, she is bored as shit at home because her parents are on vacation in Fiji this Christmas, leaving her all alone, and her brother's gay, and we know she hates that. So it's just her brother, and her brother's gay boyfriend in the house. And she also does write that she goes to an all-girls school, so it's kind of hard for her to meet guys, which in quotations, no disrespect for her sapphic sisters, but she has no interest in romantic companionship. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why also, like, even if it was her gay brother who made this clue, like, why did he have to go to such great lengths to, like, make half the clues about not being gay?
I don't know.
I don't know, and that's something we're never gonna know. But Mark, her cousin, texts her and says, "Hey, you don't get an email, you get another clue." And she goes, "What he looked like?" And he says, "A hipster wannabe." And she goes, retrieves the notebook, and she gets a clue that has a menu and the Godfather on it.
Yes, and Mark also noted that Dash was snarly, which is going to be his nickname for the first about 150 pages. So with this little pamphlet from the Godfather's Pizza Place, she goes and she finds a post-it in the book with a poem from a poet that she really likes. That and the line is like, "I am living. I remember you." Okay, that's sure. Why not?
It's a little cute. They're passing little clues back and forth. And she leaves a clue for Dash in a Christmas movie. And so they're kind of just like one-upping each other's dares.
Yep, and the dare is that she wants him to go find some warm woolen mittens with reindeers on it. And when he gets the dare, he's like, okay, that only means Macy's. And that really sucks because right now it is like December 24th. So he's got to go
and
there.
He goes on a Macy's adventure. And if you've ever been to a city Macy's, good luck to you. They're the most stressful places in existence because there are at least 100 floors and you never know where anything is because there's like 3 floors for each department. I got really stressed out when I had to go buy a pair of black pants at Macy's once, and I was there for an hour, and then I finally asked somebody for help, and it turned out I was on the right floor. I just didn't go to the very back corner where all of the black pants were.
Ew. Well, you and Dash share this hatred for Macy's in common.
Yeah.
Because he goes to the section where the mittens are, he shakes a ton of them until a paper falls out, and the paper says, "Go to the bedroom section." Ooh la la, first off.
Ooh la la.
But he's gonna look under all these pillows for a note.
Yeah, and it's weird because, like, he's talking about, like, the guy who works in the bedding department is, like, weird about people, like, sitting on the beds. But I was like, isn't that kind of normal, though, for people to sit on, like, beds in a bedding department?
I've been to a Levithan. They want you to sleep on them.
Exactly.
You gotta test it out. So he does find the note, and then, to his dismay, the note is like, "Go ask Santa for the notebook," which that sucks.
Yeah.
It really sucks because first of all, he waits in line for 50 minutes, and when he sits on Santa's lap, he's being a little frisky.
Oh, but before that, he has a full out fight with the elf that's like leading him here. He's like, dude, you're too old. And he's like, I don't really care. I gotta go talk to Santa. And then Santa's like, oh, come sit on my lap. And yeah, and then Santa's like, reach under my shirt and get this note. It's weird. It's a weird
And
scene.
he has
I think it
no
was supposed
shirt on underneath, so he's just like
yeah.
feeling his
I think it
stomach.
was supposed to be funny, but it was just fucking
No,
weird.
it was very weird and sexual assaulty. But
Yeah.
he gets the notebook back. Let's go on a positive note. He's got the notebook back. And it has a note.
Yeah.
So he leaves his best Christmas memory in there.
Yeah, he leaves his best Christmas memory. He asks for Lily's worst Christmas memory, and ends up guiding Lily to go see Grandma's got run over by a reindeer at the movies. And Lily's like, Lily, who's all about Christmas, is not all about seeing this movie. She ends up getting into a fight with a mom who tells her that she should get an Adderall prescription. um, she ends up writing about her worst Christmas and leaves the like notebook behind, like a statue. And then we get introduced to Dash's friend Boomer,
Yeah.
who has no personality, which is weird.
No,
He just kind of says things.
He's like a dog with no personality. It's like you've got Boomer who is so optimistic and has so much energy, and then Dash is like, I hate Christmas because my parents got divorced and there's no hope for them to get back together. And then
Yeah.
I do love that Lily's favorite or least favorite Christmas was that her gerbil got killed by a cat, and that she was also the weird girl because she cried in class over it.
Yeah.
Which I really don't think you are. I think you're probably just paranoid.
And also, Lily, that didn't even happen on Christmas Day. That happened at school during the time of Christmas. That's a different thing.
Exactly. Lily, get it together. Figure it out.
Get it together. Oh my gosh. But he gets the book back, and she's leading him to Madame Tussauds Wax Museum.
Yes.
And during this, he also runs into Priya, who he ran into at the Strand while he was holding his Joy of Gay Sex book, and he had to be super uncomfortable about it. And we also learned that his ex-girlfriend Sophia is in town for the holidays. Whoa!
Drama. So while he also, I just can't believe he's running into this one girl in a city of
over and over again,
like 8 million people. It might be 3 million. I don't know. But leaves it in the wax museum. Or no, they leave it in the toy store. Him and Boomer leave it in the toy store on Xmas Eve. Okay, so Macy's wasn't Xmas Eve. Now it's
I didn't write down any of the dates in my notes.
toy store on Christmas Eve for Lily to get, which is great. She has no plans. What's she gonna do on Christmas Eve? You know?
Yeah. Oh, and Dash's last entry, he also writes that his one true Christmas present is an unabridged Oxford's English dictionary, and it's like, buddy, could you get more pretentious?
Get a hobby. Buy a Nintendo Wii. Buddy, listen.
Oh my god.
I really think he'd like Lego Star Wars. I think he'd really love Lego Star Wars.
It's like, you know how you tell people to read a book when they need to get a hobby? I'm begging Dash to stop reading books because he's so annoying.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I think you would like Twilight Seen It because there's this guy in it who wears a pea coat, and Dash, I really think you two would get along.
Wow. You heard it from Meggie Dash. You gotta get Twilight Seen It.
So, anyways, Lily also learns during this time from her brother that her parents are in Fiji looking at boarding schools because her dad's going to be headmaster there. And she's upset, which I don't really get why. It seems like she has no social life in New York City. Why not go to a warm place where you can hang out?
And play soccer because she's on a soccer team. Sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it sounds, I don't know, it sounds ideal. You get to play soccer.
I don't know. I think Lily kind of has an issue with control because she's also really upset that her grandpa's proposing to somebody, and it's like, he doesn't even live in New York half the year. What are you mad at?
I don't know. So she stomps her way onto the toy store because she's sulking. And she's asking about this make a Muppet workshop, because that's the note that Dash indicated. And then a girl's like, follow me, and takes her to a top secret place in the toy store.
Yeah, and we find out Boomer's there, ready to help. We never find out who this other girl is.
No, we don't. But Boomer does help her with a Muppet and she gives him the moleskin
Yeah.
journal. Um, and the girl who leads her to Boomer also says that she's prettier than Sophia. She thinks, but also Lily doesn't speak Spanish, so that's good. And it's wow, what a coded just sentence to get. I would be so confused. I would be like, what? What is going on?
Oh my god. But also, okay, Boomer is not the ride or die that I wanted him to be, because like I was like, cool, if he's gonna like lack an entire like, his entire like life is just devoted to helping Dash out. And that's gonna be his personality, fine. But he's not a ride or die because he refuses to tell Dash what Lily looks like.
No, I would immediately tell you what a guy
Yeah,
interested
I
me looks
would.
like.
That's like, hey, you can't hate the player. You hate the game. Like you gotta play it. If you're gonna play, you gotta play.
Not to hype up Bartiz from Love Is Blind, but looks do fucking matter, you know?
So true.
As he once said.
And wow, and are you really gonna let your friend just start going on book dare dates with an Uggo?
I don't know.
Are you?
Also, like, peep the energy. Clearly, she's got different energy than Mr. Snarly over here. Would they even get
Yeah.
along? You know? Looks aside, I don't know. But Dash's dare is to meet Lily at this Nutcracker house with the Muppet that she made that is in Brooklyn. We were led to believe it was like way out in Queens, but it's just
Like
in
like
Brooklyn.
I made it sound like it was upstate New York.
Yeah.
And during that like little Christmas Eve, Dash is spent it chilling. He gets like a call from his parents, etc., etc. He writes the next clue, leaves the Muppet behind. And Lily, her entire thing is she's so upset with her parents who want to Skype her that she's using a dry erase board to communicate with them. Because apparently when she was a kid, she had like anger problems, so they would have her write down her feelings on a dry erase board. So that's what she's doing now. And it's like, Lily, just talk about how you're feeling. What the fuck?
I feel like if I was angry and my parents made me write down everything, that would be so demoralizing. Like, I would feel
Yeah.
so infantilized. I'd be like,
But
okay.
but she's choosing to do this at 16. Lily, you're not ready for a boyfriend. I don't even think you're ready to hold hands with someone.
No, honestly, Lily seems like a big baby. But Dash is on his way to meet her because, like Lily, I mean, Dash's parents are also out of town. He's all alone. So he goes to these lights and she's not there and he's like, okay, well, I'm not gonna give you my name in the notebook either. So he hasn't written his name yet, but she wants to know his name. He leaves her a note instead to go to an all-nighter band.
Yep, and it's like a 3 a.m. on Christmas night thing, and it's like a Jewish rock punk band. It's weird. Not weird that it's that, but it just feels like it was trying to do something weird, and yeah, and so she goes and she has fun. She's trying to be more dangerous. She dances. She has a good time.
She calls the bouncer a she-man.
Yeah, that's offensive.
She's living large, baby.
In my notes, I put quotations. She-man, yikes, because you can't say those things.
Yeah, I wrote she calls someone a she-man because hey, anti-trans rhetoric, they hate us. What can I say?
She just hates gay people and trans people.
She's wearing a gold dress and has titties, but she also wears glasses. But she has blonde hair. There's a lot of factors. I can't figure out if she's hot or not.
I honestly, I could not picture Lily at all because I also feel like they didn't mention she had glasses until like the last 10 pages when she talks about taking them off.
She feels like, and this is going to be such a specific thing, but she feels like my Kim Kardashian Hollywood avatar when I don't care about the show your style, so I put her in a dress and some like Ugg boots, and she looks awful. But I just need to submit something, and I don't think anyone that listens to us is gonna get that. That's just for me.
Speaking of boots, Lily's on her way to give the notebook to the two people at the bar that she was instructed to give the notebook to, and instead of giving it to them, she just panics for some reason and starts to run out of the bar, losing her boot in the process.
Doesn't leave the notebook behind. And also, if you have enough courage to go out to a bar alone at 2 a.m. when you're 16 years old, how can you not follow through? It is baffling to me.
Yeah. Yeah, the motivation here made no sense to me because I was like, what is she running from?
I don't know. So Dash's friends take the boot to him and they're like, here's a boot. And he's like, what? And they're like, yep, there's no notebook. So he's
And
backtracking.
he's like, this is a clue. I got to retrace my steps. There's something that this means. We get a flashback to him and Sophia breaking up. And in the meantime, they're going to Priya's party. And I thought this was an interesting flag here because at the door while they're waiting for Priya to come to it, they're talking about Lily. And then Priya answers being like, well, who's Lily? And they say Lily's a drag queen. So it's like, why don't you want to talk about her? Are you embarrassed by her?
I don't know, but maybe he doesn't want to talk about her.
Not pretty enough?
Maybe he's just trying to keep the door open because when he gets to this party, I mean, him and Sophia, they are hitting it off.
I mean, they're kind of vibing. They go to their bedroom, they're talking, and it's not like there's a sexual tension. It just feels like there's kind of a things left unsaid tension of there's still just some lingering thoughts and feelings about everything sort of thing.
Yeah, and Sophia also calls him out for building women up in his head, which what a beautiful how smart you must be at 16 to be able to call that out for a guy. Good for her.
Yeah, and she tells him about a fling she had. He tells her about the Book of Dares.
Yeah.
Very healthy conversation that they have.
It does.
But back in Lily's point of view, her grandfather has driven up from Florida because of course he has. And he's really sad because Mabel, his girlfriend, said no to his proposal because she's got too many boyfriends. And Langston does cover for her, which is really, really nice. But Lily decides to be like, I know relationships now. Grandpa, you need to compromise. And it's like, no, he doesn't. She's two-timing him. What?
Yeah, it seems like since Grandpa is also dating other women and this girl is dating other women, she's like, well, then you should just not have any boundaries. Which it kind of seems like him and this woman don't. But anyways, she knows everything about romance now. It doesn't even matter because when she's walking dogs, she runs into this.
Because that's a job she has now. We're on page 140 and we find out that she's a dog walker. What?
Yeah, I guess she's a dog walker. She runs into this tall, hot guy named Edgar, who she used to go to school with, whose cat killed her gerbil.
Yeah, and he invites her to a party, and she's like, I'm gonna go because while you traumatized me when I was younger, you're hot now and talking to me, and those are my two criteria for men.
Hey, who hasn't backslid in their life? Am I right?
I would honestly say Edgar's backsliding here.
This is true. We still don't know if Lily's hot. She wears glasses. That could mean anything.
He's wearing vintage majorette boots that are too big around the city, clomping around. At one point, she's described as wearing a poodle skirt. Like, what is going on? How does she look?
She's wearing one boot too, and one Chuck Taylor because she's like, maybe Dash will see me out and realize I'm wearing the other boot, which is insane logic, but honestly kind of sound. So Dash, meanwhile, he's running all around because he's trying to find her while she's off yeah, why not? I have a side quest with Edgar. And at the Strand, at the bookstore, Lily's cousin gives him an address, and it's her aunt's house.
And yeah, and honestly, he goes in and talks with her aunt for 5 pages, and they just have a back and forth dialogue, and they have more chemistry than him and Lily do.
I know, they sounded like two Shakespearean characters.
Is he gonna fuck him? Are they gonna fuck? What's going on here?
I don't know, but she decides that he's a good fit for Lily, and he's like, yeah, I am. He walks away feeling good.
But Lily's at the party with Edgar, and she's vibing because she's like, I want a real kiss, my first real kiss. Remedial Lily, you have to have higher stakes than that. But Edgar decides to take her to the movies to go see Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer, which is the movie she already saw, but also it's after Christmas at this point. Why would we go see this movie again?
I don't know. And while he's there,
why would it still be playing?
I have no idea. He puts his hand on her thigh while he's in the movie, and then in the cab, he's like, I need to borrow money to go home, and he almost kisses our homely girl.
And then Lily's like, no, I'm gonna leave you wanting more.
No, she's like, I want a special first kiss. And her special first kiss is going to a bar for one of her caroler friends' birthdays and getting a little drunk and inviting Edgar.
Yep. And she's vibing. She's having the time of her life. She pulls like, and everybody's also rallying around like finding her boot. They're posting it on like the internet and social media, being like, find Lily's boot. And she drops the notebook on the floor and she's like, fuck that notebook. I'm never gonna see Dash again. I'm gonna make out with Edgar. And just as they're like about to kiss, Dash walks into this freaking bar. Yeah-oh.
And she's like, Dash, what are you doing here? And he's like, Edgar like posted a photo of you having one boot on. But
and then Lily passes out from embarrassment, probably.
And Dash, you know, being the good guy, just slash pushover that he is. Well, no, this is good of him. I will say he takes Lily home. He's like, and then Edgar starts flirting with someone else, and Dash kind of chews him out for being a piece of shit. And Dash takes her to her aunt's house, and the aunt's like, okay, I swear she's not like this usually, and Dash is like, no, it's clear we're like not made for each other. And he's butthurt, but he's also heading to his ex's Sophia's place. So how hurt is he?
He's gonna go find the hotel that she's staying at. Also, while he's on his way to this hotel, Edgar calls him to talk about Lily, and we never find out how they know each other. Like, do they go to school together?
Okay.
How do they know each other?
Edgar's last name is like Theobald, and it was mentioned that he was looking for him at the party that Sophia was at. So I'm just gonna assume that like him and Edgar are friends and go to the same school.
I don't know, but whatever. But he goes to Sophia's hotel.
I really thought we were gonna get sex finally, and we.
I was gonna be surprised, but like it's because it's leaving it up this way, and like, he's kind of in the lobby, and he's kind of like, maybe I shouldn't be here. Fair thought. It's your ex's hotel, and you're going there unannounced, and you also don't know what room she's in. She's in a hotel. And he buys some postcards, and he's like, I kind of miss like the journal, but maybe I was also just like, I liked the journal because I just got to write my feelings. And so he buys some postcards and starts writing in the postcards. But then Sophia finds him in the lobby, and she's like, oh, hey. And he's like, oh, hey. And that's kind of where we leave it. Them just kind of like them knowing what's going to happen next.
I thought it was going to be sex. So, meanwhile, while Dash is riding high, seeing his ex, Lily...
Riding her, am I right?
Hey, Lily wakes up at her aunt's, and her aunt kind of covered for her, said, I told Grandpa that you were here to shovel, and she's feeling really bad about Dash, so she texts Edgar to ask where he lives. Yeah.
Honestly, it's like while Dash is trying to get laid, Lily's trying to get pancakes. That's the best way to describe the motivations in this book. Lily is so immature.
Yes. Oh my god, no, for real. So she's like trying to figure out where Dash lives. She's got the street and is just going like door to doorman, trying to figure out where he lives. She does find where he lives and leaves the notebook with a sorry note and like a poem with the doorman of his place.
And like come see my snowman that I made you.
He doesn't have time. Yeah. He's too busy. He's cuddling his ex.
Yeah, he's too busy waking up next to Sophia where he says they just cuddled. Which is a big thumbs down from Meggie and I, the horniest podcast hosts alive.
We started this podcast 2 years ago, and we have gotten one sex scene in like private, and it was meager at best. It was just, I lost my
Yeah.
virginity. I want sex.
Yeah. Well, we did get more like making out in private. Those were simpler
I
times.
guess
We've
so.
gotten some makeouts. We've gotten some hot makeouts things.
I guess. Whatever.
We'll get there, Meg. I know we
I'm so
will.
sad.
All we want for Christmas this year is a sex scene in one of these books we read.
I need one of these teenagers to fuck. Um,
Jeff gets caught in a snowball fight on his way home. And then he ends up like assaulting a kid with a snowball that's like too hard. And Boomer sends him like a neighborhood watch email from some angry mom who's saying that there's some man running around hurting children with snowballs. So Dasher's in some hot water.
he
Is
is. He finds the notebook when he gets home, and he doesn't seem as interested in Lily now, but he does write. He's
yeah.
like, maybe we shouldn't meet in real life. I just like exchanging stories instead, which is, I mean, it's a boundary. It's fine. I'd kind of be upset too. Lily's not excited to read this though. Lily's like, well, why didn't he come over and see my snowman?
Yeah, he's trying to see your tits, Lily. That's what he's trying to see.
Everyone is kind of falling apart in Lily's life. Her grandpa's going back to his failed proposal girlfriend. Her brother, psychotic, broke up with his boyfriend because he left for 2 weeks to like go visit his family.
Jesus Christ. I think Lily just has really bad influences in her life, and then that like allows her makes her think she's allowed to make poor decisions, and it's like that's not how things work.
Honestly, maybe that does inform a lot of her kind of like way too grandiose ideas of what romance should be.
Yeah.
Because she has a lot of expectations for Dash to just forgive her right away, and it's not really like that. Yeah.
Yeah. But Lily does go to the Strand and she finds none other than Boomer in the middle of hiding this notebook in one of the shelves again. And Boomer's like, whoa, you weren't supposed to see me hiding this notebook. And Lily's like, okay, I'll pretend I didn't see you. And then her, Boomer, and her cousin Mark decide to go get a chocolate pizza down the street. And then there's this just like really weird scene where the three of them hang out and talk that felt really just unnecessary.
It did feel unnecessary. But Lily does run into a girl from her school and makes coffee plans with her because the soccer team is like, Lily, we like you. It is all in your head.
Yeah, like Lily, we would love to be friends with you. Please stop ignoring us.
Yeah.
And then Lily is also going to be watching Mark's coworker, also named Mark, his dog Boris. And Lily's out walking Boris, and then just happens to run into Dash. There's no notebook now. We're just running into each other.
And all hell goes to shit because this huge dog she's walking just takes off, and Dash catches its leash, and it runs into a kid. And guess what? It was the kid that Dash hit with a snowball. And Dash is on the neighborhood watch for this snowball fight. So these moms are mad at him, and they try to citizen arrest him. And
we also learned during this scene that Dash is obsessed with yogurt now. That's like his favorite food. And like, I literally wrote, because this is page 211. This is a 260-page book, listeners. I wrote, what the fuck is with this yogurt plot line that's just been thrown at us?
I don't know, but it makes him a sensitive boy. He's a sensitive boy.
Who's lactose intolerant, so we learn.
Yeah, he has IBS, which is short for insanely boyfriend.
I was gonna say insane boy syndrome.
Insane boy syndrome. Yeah, that's better.
But also during this chaotic mess, Boris runs into a stroller that ends up launching a baby into the air, and Lily, the goalie that she is, she catches the baby. Two mixed reactions from this crowd.
Yes, a lot of hooting and hollering, and a lot of she is trying to steal that baby.
Which it's like, I don't really think anybody in New York would be like that, but I could be wrong. I've only been there a couple of times.
I really don't think they would think that. But anyways, the police come and they take them into this interrogation room where Dash and Lily immediately start flirting and almost kiss. They almost kiss.
Oh, I think I missed that. I was skimming at this point.
Laura
Like,
blacked
because
out.
their banter feels so forced to me.
Yeah. It does not,
Like,
yeah, no.
everything about the way they converse is like, we are talking and getting to know each other because we had so much fun with this notebook, and we're trying to kind of recreate that IRL, but it doesn't feel like it's working ever.
No, it feels purely out of obligation that they talk to each other.
Yeah.
So the police lets them go and escorts them out. By this point, by the time they're getting escorted out, the Daily Post has written an article about them. They are local celebrities. And
They're viral.
they're viral. They go out the back, but before they go, Dash slips Lily a notebook in. Oh no, Lily slips Dash the notebook in his pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, like, her entire family's there. Like, all of his friends are there, like, waiting for him. Like, they just knew what jail they were at, even though neither of them made a phone call. And then they just, like, leave separately. Like, that's how ready they were to get away from each other.
They said I had to be stuck in a room with you. I can't imagine the rest of my life with you.
Yeah.
But some good did come from this because when Lily gets home, she gets to keep the dog Boris because his owner was
Yeah.
bad. And her soccer team is spending the night. She's got friends now.
And Dash is chatting with his friends at his mom's apartment. He pulls out a dry erase board and writes love on it, and they all pretend to know what love is at 16.
Exactly. Her brother is back with her boyfriend meanwhile. And she's kind of stressed that Dash might not like her. Which yeah.
Still thinks he might be gay.
Which I think he also might not like you.
Yeah, I also think he just is still in love with his ex-girlfriend, even though he refuses to admit it.
Which is completely fair. Just don't start a new thing with someone else. But at this time, Aunt comes back walking the dog, and guess what she's got? A notebook. The game, it's back on. It was never over.
Yeah. Yeah, and he leads her to like the ice skating rink in New York, and she's like, "Ew, really?" And it's like, "Lily, you love Christmas. You should be excited about this." And he's like, "No, just kidding. There's another surprise." And they go to like a baking studio because Boomer's mom is famous, and they get to go bake things. And then they go dance on the subway because there's a band on the subway.
Yeah, just quirky things. Because Lily's like, I also have a surprise for you, and takes him to Strand Bookstore and shows him this secret room that has, it all ties together, the original English dictionary. And they go through it together.
And they accidentally get locked in there. Uh-oh. And she calls Mark, and Mark's like, "I'll get you in the morning. I'm going to bed. Like, you should be so thankful that, like, I'm really hooking you up by getting you locked in a place with a boy, Lily."
Seems like there's nothing else to do but have sex without a condom, have him pull out, come on your stomach. Wipe it with one of the pages from the English dictionary, crumple it up, put it in your pocket, and do it again. I guess until 8 a.m. when your cousin.
Mark said there's a bathroom in the back right corner. You get to go pee there after so you don't get a UTI.
Exactly. Pick whatever word in the dictionary. I have a fun game for them. Pick a word in the dictionary you like, and that's the page you're gonna wipe up semen with. So, anyways, they don't have sex. They don't take my advice, which is pretty sad, pretty tragic.
Yeah, instead they have like a meager kiss, and then immediately afterwards, Dash is like, "I'm going to bed," which is because he doesn't like her that much.
Yeah, whatever. And so they kiss once, I think. They fall asleep because Cousin's gonna come get them at 7 a.m.
And then the book ends with Mark coming to wake them up, and Lily goes, "Hey Dash, wake up!" And that's literally the last line in the book.
That's it. And that's Dash and Lily's Book of Dares. I had 2 questions for Laura that I texted her today. Clearly, there were a lot of like really homophobic, racist, really problematic parts of this book.
Yeah.
So I was wondering which author between Rachel Cohn, who wrote Lily's point of view, and David Levithan, who wrote Dash's, who did you hate more?
Oh, that's so hard. I feel like, oh, it goes back and forth because I was like, well, like the Dash side really kicked it off with all of this like gay stuff.
Yes.
But then the drag queen parts of Lily's were also very, very bad.
Yes.
My gut makes me want to say Dash's author.
Wow,
David.
really? I was gonna say Rachel Cohn.
Oh, really? I mean, I could change my mind. I want to be like Meggie. I'm going to say Rachel Cohn too.
Okay, that's fair. I think Dash started off really hot, but towards the end, I was like, okay, this is solely about the story and not about making jokes. And I feel like Rachel Cohn never got out of that. Like that one part when they were being held in the interrogation room, and Rachel Cohn was like, Officer White, who was black, said something, and then Officer Black, who was white, said
oh my
something.
God, yeah.
I was like, what is this? What?
Ugh.
What is the point?
Oh my God. I feel like I wanted to black all of those scenes out from my brain. I just remember there was another part where like Dash like told Boomer like, we're gonna go to like this lounge, and Boomer was like, don't you have to be black to sing there? And it was like, what?
Oh my God, I don't even remember that part. That is so wild.
Yeah, like it was something like that where like things like that were explicitly said a lot in this like book, listeners, and it was in a way that it was like the 2000s way of like, oh, we're aware and we're making this funny, it's ironic, and it's just like, nope, this is problematic and we do not like it.
I know, they were like, see, I'm race conscious, and I'm like, yeah, but it's not progressive and it doesn't serve your plot, so there's no reason to include it. It was so weird, and it was so consistent in either race or like the gay front that I was just like, what? Why are you doing this? Oh my God.
Yeah, I think this transitions nicely into who should be our canceled character of the week, Meggie.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna go with the character that I liked least between the two protagonists, and I'm gonna say Lily. I didn't like Lily.
I was gonna make an argument for Langston because he's the reason we're in this situation.
Oh, Langston's really toxic. Breaking up with your boyfriend for 2 weeks, let him travel.
I think honestly, I think we should just call it a tie between Langston and Lily because I disliked both of them.
Yeah, I'm fair with that. I'm down. That's good.
Yeah, that's gonna be a draw because there's just solid arguments all around.
And that leaves us with our last segment, our favorite segment, our top 5. And this top 5 is going to be top 5 alternative dares they could have had in this book instead.
And none of them are having sex, listeners. Get your mind out of the gutter.
None of them are. Yeah, who would go on a tangent about very specifics about sex? Not me.
In the basement of the Strand bookstore using the Oxford English Dictionary.
Yeah, exactly. Totally not me. Coming in at number 5 for alternative dares, I think if you're in New York, the only way to test someone's love for you is to send them to New Jersey. Make them go on a task. Any task.
Yeah, go on a task to New Jersey. Steal a sign or something. That'd be fun. Number 4, plausibility of this one. Maybe not there. We think there should be like a wet t-shirt contest. A little bit sexy, a little bit rock and roll, pretty fun. Maybe it's indoors because it's cold outside.
That is true.
I don't know. In this book, we said a few times it wasn't very cold for December, so maybe it's wet t-shirt contest weather.
Maybe it's wet t-shirt contest outside. Who's to say? Not us.
Who's to say? We can't. Yeah, certainly not us.
Number 3, we have one that is ethical, and brilliant. Steal the Salvation Army Santa's bucket of change.
Yeah. Anybody outside those Macy's ringing the bells, you just steal their bucket of change. Do something better with it.
Exactly.
Going in at number 2, gotta do a karaoke contest. This has wannabe rom-com vibes all over it. If it's a rom-com, we gotta have some sort of karaoke moment where somebody goes, but I don't sing. That would be very tropey of this.
Oh, I am always a sucker for a karaoke scene in a rom-com. Mm-hmm. And our final one, number 1, what we think both of these 16-year-olds who clearly have no future ahead of them, they should just jump off the Brooklyn Bridge.
One of them should dare the other to jump off the Brooklyn Bridge.
Hey, that's a dare.
We dare each other to do it together. We'll never know. They will never know because they did not dare each other to do that.
They didn't.
Despite Meggie and I pleading.
Really, their dares weren't even dares at all. It was just commands. Go to this location. Go to this location.
Yeah. It wasn't really dare-y. I feel like the only like kind of dare was like the make a Muppet, but like that was also like not really a dare.
No, not at all.
But I guess Book of Tasks and Activities didn't have the same ring to it.
No, it really didn't.
No, it didn't. Well, we did it. We read this book to put us in the holiday spirit, and it did not do that. So
didn't do that. But I still haven't seen Lindsay Lohan's Netflix movie, so maybe that will.
Oh my god! Oh yeah, Maggie, we gotta watch that before we both go home for the holidays.
We gotta watch it.
We gotta watch it.
Yeah.
And maybe at some point we'll read Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist and also Eli and Naomi's No Kiss List. Maybe we won't. I don't know. It's our podcast. Your guess is as good as ours.
Yes. In the meantime, make sure to follow us online at Meggie_and_Laura on Instagram. We are also on TikTok and Twitter at Yeah We Read It. And also,
and if you're feeling, oh sorry, go ahead.
You go.
No, I was just gonna say, maybe if you're sick of writing letters to Santa Claus and you want to write an email to us at MeggieandLauraPresent@gmail.com, we'll respond, unlike Santa, and everybody's on our naughty list this year, but in a fun way.
Yeah, you'll be on our nice list if you give us 5 stars.
Yeah.
Woo!
Naughty until proven nice. That's how we operate here.
Exactly.
And that's it. That's our podcast. Also, this is obviously the 21st that this is coming out. Next week, a whole new season of Yeah We Read It is coming out. We are reading James Dashner, kind of a tie-in there, his Maze Runner series. Mm-hmm. And I'm really excited. Maggie and I have already started reading it. We're already getting our thoughts of ruin on how to bring this over to you in the most delicious way possible.
I can't hardly wait.
Like you just didn't sound that excited.
I'm excited. I started 10 pages last night on melatonin, and I don't remember them. So
hey, honestly, the book really throws you in. So that it's a lot out the gate. But we'll get into it. We'll get into it next week.
We'll get into it.
Listeners, thank you for listening. Give us 5 stars. Have a good holiday. We love you.
We love you.
Okay. Okay. Bye.